Okay, so you may be asking yourself, why do I want to play a 5-color deck powered by basic lands? The reason that I would suggest you should do this is because if you've played with 3-color decks, 2-color decks, where you're using what would be considered the optimal mana, like you're using the full set of dual lands for a 3-color deck, or plus sack land, plus the fetch lands, plus the Ravnica Shock lands, you're basically running perfect mana, as good as it can get. A lot of times you get so you don't really have to think about the mana. You just generally will have the mana when you need it. Playing a deck like this, it adds an interesting element of strategy in the playing of the deck. You have to think about your mana, and you have to be aware of it, and you have to be aware of your mana the whole time through it. You got to know what you need. You got to plan. In order to play the Scion on turn 5 with any kind of consistency, you have to have that in mind as your turn 5 goal, and you have to plan around that. You have to make sure you fetch the right lands, make sure you fetch in the right order, make sure you. It's an interesting thing to have to work at after playing, an EDH deck that has. Like a 5-color EDH deck with 10 dual lands, 10 shock lands, 10 fetch lands. It has a different feel to it. It's not really that big of an issue to get your mana. And focus on mana. You have to focus on mana through every step of the deck building. And it's an exciting kind of thing to just. It's neat. I thoroughly enjoyed building this deck. I've enjoyed upgrading it. I've enjoyed upgrading. I've enjoyed the tweaking of this deck, and I enjoy playing this deck. And in all fairness, it's kind of a little kid deck because you're playing a bunch of dragons, but you have some nifty things you can do, and you have like a reanimation package. You have some utility cards. You have card draw. It's a pretty solid deck, and again, your mana base costs you about $5. So a 5-color deck with like a $5 mana base, it's a pretty good deal.